Ah, welcome traveler. Come in, take a seat and put up your feet. Today, we are diving into a game called Going Medieval, a colony sim city builder survival game, where we will be cooking up some roleplay to enhance the gameplay. This is part 7 in our multi-part series, and if you'd like to see more of this, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let's get cooking. So a couple of things that have happened since the last episode. We've gone and placed a roof over on this construction over here, which we are going to look at completing in this episode, so that we can have a proper living area instead of making use of our initial building. We've also gone and placed a temporary storage over here for dirt, so that we can finally have this artificial hill built up. I'm very happy with the moat that we were able to complete in the last episode, and we might look at opening that up, but it's all reliant on if we can get all of this dirt out of there and into the stockpile in time. We'll also look at removing these items dropped by the raiders after the last attack, as well as going to our workstations and actually crafting more bows and actually getting a good supply of winter clothes as well as summer clothes. Another thing we're going to be looking at is setting up a proper shrine over here for the Oak Brethren, as well as a shrine on this side for the Restitutionists. That way we are no longer reliant on making use of these two small rooms over here, and we can either remove them or allocate them to another use. We shall see as need be. But right, let's dive into it, and let's see what this episode brings.
Whispering, we gather stones, the ancient offering, with calloused hands and silent sight, for souls who rest under stormy sky. Heavy hearts, we haul the timber tall, craft a shrine where shadows fall, in the forest deep where spirits tread, for the living and the dead. Oh, the stone and the wood we toil and bind, raise the shrine in the misted night. With the old enchants we find our grace in the sacred ancient place. In the twilight, where the ravens roost, we carve the names of the long dejuiced. By the flickering of the candles burn, we honor those for whom we yearn. Beneath the moon, in cloaks of night, the shrine stands tall, a timeless sight. With whispered prayers we leave our plea for peace and love eternally. Oh, the stone and the wood we toil and bind, raise the shrine in the misted night. With the old enchants we find our grace in the sacred ancient place. Toil and bind, raise the shrine in the misted mind. With the old enchants we find our grace in the sacred ancient place. Oh, the stone and the wood we toil and bind, raise the shrine in the misted mind. With the old enchants we find our grace in the sacred ancient place. Place.
Great, so we now have a proper shrine for the Oak Brethren and a proper shrine for the Restitutionists. So later we will look at developing these buildings, upgrading them, making them more fancy, decorating them, and just upping the general environment around the building as well. But for the time being, these will do, and these will be the final locations of the shrines as well towards the end of the build. So I'm glad that we could set them out now. So the next build that we're going to be going into is getting this building done. We want to have proper sleeping place for all of our settlers before the winter comes, so we will be dedicating the rest of summer towards building this, as well as collecting enough food to see us through the winter months. Once winter arrives, well, we'll deal with that when we get there.
Stone by stone we lay on this earth so broad, crafting walls to keep her icy fingers at bay. Oaken beams we hoist under skies of gray, fireside dreams to men come winter's harsh array. Hammer falls and echoes through the veil so deep, with every wooden plank we promise nightly keep. Hay and moss for bedding beneath the stars cold sweet, candles light our faces where shadows softly creep. We build a place to hide when the northern winds do blow, shelter from bitter frost in the dawn's pale glow. Here we'll stand together as the seasons come and go, holding tight to warmth neath the winter snow. Thatch the eaves with care while evening swallows sing. Gather round the hearth, feel the comfort it brings. Huddled close we whisper of the coming spring. Fortune's in our hearts, this shelter our king. Moon above will guide as stars begin to weave. Tales of old we tell as love finds its key. Pantries filled with hope, promise running deep, waiting here in silence through long hours of sleep. We build a place to hide when the northern winds do blow, shelter from bitter frost in the dawn's pale glow. Here we'll stand together as the seasons come and go, holding tight to warmth beneath the winter snow.
It seems that Lucas wants to join Hearthguard. Fantastic! The more the merrier. We have plenty of work that needs to be done before winter arrives. Let's just hope that he has the relevant skills. Let's see here. Yes, I think that we can find a position for him. Well, welcome, Lucas. Finally, our residential building is complete. There are still some interiors that need to be finished. Floors need to be placed down, some beds need to be built, braziers constructed, and so forth. But it will serve the function that it needs to in the immediate future, which is getting our settlers to sleep in these much more comfortable beds and removing these inadequate hay beds out of this old building here. What we will do in the meantime is we're going to just make sure that all of the items get hauled and stored where they need to go. and make sure that there are no odd ends and small jobs that need to be finished before winter arrives. Some small decisions that we've decided to take before autumn arrives and winter kicks in fully. We are going to move our tree plantation completely away from this area, and we're moving it over to here so that it's much easier to harvest trees and carry the wood directly into the storage through this little door that we've constructed here. That's going to make things a lot quicker. We're also going to get the rest of these animal pens built up super quickly so that we can have enough space for chickens specifically and a donkey. We'll have goats in the center. Maybe the donkeys will join them here, and we'll have cattle in the last one. Just some preparations for the future ahead. We're also going to look at just expanding this orchard just by one additional row. We'll do that really quick, just so that we can have even more apple trees up and going. And then for future plans, once winter has hit properly, we'll look at actually removing most of this building and starting to move our farms over into this space here. That way we can have all of our food production and animals, crops over on one side, and start clearing out this part here and here for future developments in future episodes. Something else I also want to have a look at doing before this winter hits us is actually setting up some beehives over here. I think these would be really useful for later on when we want to have honey and beeswax for specific other productions. So we'll set up 3 for now, and as we get more settlers we'll increase this number, but that will be plenty for the time being. We have our new forestry over here, and we are going to complete this last stable area. We're going to remove this in the meantime, start clearing this out. Once winter hits, we'll look at properly removing this building here and only keeping the small kitchen. Our cellar has also been expanded, so we do have an additional sizing over here now. We should be able to hold all of the food that we are currently producing, store it here for the long winter time, and still be fine come spring. Eventually, however, we are going to look at moving this completely. Some plans for that is to actually move the cellars down here below where the castle is going to be. But those are all long-term plans. Our main concern is just to be well prepared for winter, see our way through, and hopefully in this winter time we can finally get this hill constructed and we can start looking at actually setting up our castle and bringing a true meaning to the game of going medieval. But that's all the time we have for today's episode. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as that would greatly help the channel. If you would like to be kept updated as to new videos being released, then please hit that notification bell. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or requests, leave a comment down below and let us know. Until next time, this is Roast Temp. Keep cooking.